Howdy tea fans, welcome to another episode of Gong Fu Tea Cha with me, Sohan, here at the beautiful Guanyin Tea House in Austin, Texas. Today we are going to learn how to use this object, the Gaiwan. The Gaiwan is the oldest tool used for steeping tea. It dates back to the Ming Dynasty when people started drinking steeped leaf tea for the first time, and they were drinking tea out of tea bowls called a chA, meaning tea bowl, before then, using their whisked tea or their boiled tea. And then everyone's drinking steep tea all of a sudden, and they're like, well, I'll just put a lid on it. And lid in Chinese is gai, bowl is wan, and that brings us the Gaiwan. So that is the most essential tea steeping tool in China. And there are a couple different ways to use this. We're going to be using it today primarily to pour tea with, because we like to use it to do Gong Fu Cha with. So that means we're going to be separating the tea from the water, and we're going to be using that primary feature, the lid, and that secondary feature, the wan, the bowl, to steep the tea and then to separate it. So we're going to cover a couple different grips or ways of using it today, and hopefully you can find your own path and your own way of comfortably holding the Gaiwan from this. All right, so the first grip that we're going to cover is the overhand grip, or the yin grip, and this is the most classical grip in China. This is the grip that most people use. It's considered the most proper and elegant grip to use, and it consists of holding the Gaiwan from above and holding the lid on with one finger. And so, important thing to remember when using a Gaiwan is that it gets hot. It's full of hot water, and there's only certain parts of the Gaiwan that are going to be comfortable to touch when it's full of hot water. One is the knob of the lid, one is the lip of the bowl, another is the saucer, and another is, to a limited degree, the foot of the bowl is also tolerable sometimes, but it can get quite hot. So when we touch the Gaiwan, we're going to want to touch it in one of these cool places, not where it gets hot, because then you'll burn yourself. And using a Gaiwan really is the most essential and basic technique of pouring tea. It's not hard, but it's not super intuitive either. You can burn yourself, and you are holding three very breakable pieces of clay or glass that makes it a little bit scary. So hopefully with these techniques, you'll be able to get really comfortable using this tool. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill our Gaiwan. We're drinking some delicious purple rain butter, chou pu'er. Ooh, yeah, that's juicy. Gonna replace my lid. And now with the overhand grip, I want to establish 3 points. First, I'm gonna set my aperture, which my aperture is the gap between the lid and the bowl where the tea strains through and the leaves are retained. So I'm gonna set my aperture for this first iteration of the overhand grip facing directly away from me. So at 12 o'clock, I'm going to establish 3 points of contact. 1, 2, 3 points of contact. You can hold it with 3 fingers, 4 fingers, however many you want. And then I'm going to lift straight up, and then I'm going to pour like so. And so I've got that nice curl, nice slow pour. If I want to go faster than this, I use a bigger aperture, but I like a slow pour for chou pu'ers because it makes it really thick and concentrated. Yeah. So that's pour number one, the overhand grip. We also call it the yin grip because it's considered more yin, which is the female principle in the yin-yang dichotomy, and more elegant. And then I actually don't like curling my wrist over like that. I don't have super flexible wrists. It's something I'm working on, but until I get there, I actually use a slight variation on this grip, which is the side overhand grip. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. So I'm gonna pour my water, purple rain, purple rain. And now for the side overhand grip, I'm going to do essentially the same thing, except that ultimately, instead of turning my wrist like this, I'm going to want to turn my wrist to the side. And so I'm going to set my aperture in that direction. Instead of being straight forward, I'm going to set it a little bit to the side. I'm going to establish my 3 points of contact like so. I'm going to lift it up and then turn to the side, and a little bit more comfortable there. Not so much of a weird forward wrist bend with that technique. There we go, there's our beautiful chou pu'er there. And then our actual second grip, there was two variations on the first grip. The second grip that we use, which is a little bit unorthodox, I'd say that less than 10% of people in China use this grip, but I happen to like it. We call it the side grip, or the Hamburger Grip, because unlike the overhand grip where the saucer stays down, the so-called Hamburger Grip, you got a bun on top, the lid, and a bun on bottom, the saucer, and you hold it like this. I realize nobody actually holds a hamburger this way, but I believe the analogy is still useful. So for the hamburger grip, we're going to end up with our hand turned at a nice, smooth, natural, ergonomic 90 degrees like that. So I'm going from here to here, and it's really chill. I'll show you right now as I refill the Gaiwan a third time. And now I'm going to pour this tea using the hamburger grip, and I like to approach this with two hands, starting off with two hands, use my less dominant hand to hold it stable. My aperture is set toward facing my non-dominant side, so for me that's my left, so aperture this way, straight to the side because it's a side grip. Two hands stabilizing with my less dominant hand, while my dominant hand slides all four fingers underneath the saucer. And then my thumb is on top. I'm going to center my Gong and I'm going to turn it 90 degrees straight to the side. Look at that. This is the grip that I like to use. Not everyone uses this grip. Most people don't. It's not wrong. If someone tells you it's wrong, just ignore them. If it's comfortable for you and you like it, go ahead and use it. There we go. And now we have a nice big old batch of purple rain butter. So there are many different ways of holding a Gaiwan. I've seen people do it like this. This is not either of those grips. I've got a friend who actually does like a reverse, I can't even do it. She does this crazy reverse hamburger thing. But there's all kinds of different ways to hold it. As long as you are not burning yourself and you are successfully straining the liquid tea away from the leaves, then you are doing it right. And I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to show you one more way to use the Gaiwan, which is to drink out of it. This is the most traditional way of using a Gaiwan. And I got this nice hefty blue bat Gaiwan out because I got this in Chengdu and the west of China where I used to live. And in Chengdu is where you will find people drinking out of Gaiwans. You go to a tea house by the river, they bring you a Gaiwan full of tea and they will pour some water in it for you and you sit there and you drink straight out of the Gaiwan. There is a little bit of silver needle here in this Gaiwan. So I'm just gonna show you, this is the most ancient way of using a Gaiwan and is still practiced in much of China today, drinking directly out of it. Oh man, that's nice. And so we let our tea steep for a second, and then to drink out of it, we just take it and drink directly out of it using the lid to strain the leaves away from the surface of the water. Oh yeah. And they say in China that men will hold it with two hands like this and manipulate the lid with the one hand. Women will hold it with one hand and manipulate the lid with their thumb. It's the 21st century, so you hold your Gaiwan any way that you want to. We are just happy you're drinking tea. Thank you so much for joining us today on Gong Fu Tea Cha. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. We will be creating more of these videos to help you on your Gong Fu tea journey. Thank you very much.